Oh, nope. Huh. Oh, there we are. Now I'm here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so apparently I must have had that timer set wrong. Anyway, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill. This is Beyond Code Live, and we are going to continue on the old blog project. It's been a minute since diving into that, and this is going to be kind of I've got the day off, so I think this is going to be my day as trying to get this figured out. So we've done this bit for authentication where we've added the ability to log in with GitHub to our login project, our authentication project. So we're going to have to bring that in at some point. We need to get a server up to have an actual API for this, because up until this point it's just been all front end. And we need to get a way to sync drafts between computers so that when I'm here on this computer versus on my laptop, I get the same list of drafts. So hopefully all of that's going to get figured out today. It's going to be probably a long session. Well, maybe not that long because I'm going to have breakfast at some point. But going to be a couple of sessions today on that. So with that said, I do have the comments and chat up on both Twitch and YouTube. When I'm looking over here, that is because I'm looking over at comments. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. Actually, there's one more thing I'm going to do before I get started. I am going to add a little... I have my tweet prepared to tweet out that I'm doing the live stream right now. So I'm going to add that, and then we'll get going. Feel free to ask me any questions, leave any comments. We can go wildly off topic today because we can. Okay. Here we are. So, this is a different project. Let me see. Do we want to do that one? Yeah, I'm going to bring this over. Or maybe I'll bring this over here. We'll see how we'll do it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let me bring that over there, close this one out. Okay. So, what we need to have a way to log in and deal with the authentication. We've already built the library for that. And we need to sync the stuff. And I really want it to be encrypted because I don't want to have to be responsible for whatever weird content people produce. I don't want to know. I don't want to have to, like, that's one of the things that I don't think people understand about encryption. You want your product or service to be encrypted because you don't want access to the data, most likely. You don't want to know what your users are doing. There might be some things you might want to know about engagement or some metadata, or you might want to do maybe some tagging, but you could do that on the client side. You don't want to store user data on your server. I mean, think about all the political posts and all the garbage people are doing. It'd just be better if you didn't have it. I guess if you're doing a true social media app, no, you could totally do everything encrypted so that only things that are purely public, anything that's between friends, could be totally encrypted and have shared keys or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the point of this. Let's get down to business and defeat the Huns. And line that up there. So I've been working on another seed project, which I think is going to turn out well for what we're doing here. Let me just check the status on this. What do I need to do with this one? I don't need to do any of that. That looks good. I just added some error handling to this and some static. Yeah, it looks good. All right, we're going to check this out. And we're going to call this the Bliss branch. And I'm going to update my seed project is what I'm going to do. So first, let me head on over to DigitalOcean. I'm going to, no, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. What I need to head over to is, let's see, where, maybe name.com. The thing that I need to get done, I'm going to have an API. This will be Bliss API.rootprojects.org, I think is what I'll make it. So let's go, or beyond code. Maybe I'll put it under beyond code. Okay, let me do this. First and foremost, let's go to GitHub. Let's create a repo for the API. That's why, how did that not work? What? Okay, Beyond Code Bootcamp. I think I will put the API under Beyond Code Bootcamp. And we've got Bliss and Bliss template. So this might be the right place to create. Yeah, let's do new. And we'll call this Bliss API. And I might just make this one private. We'll see. Maybe we'll end up making it public, but I think it's fine to make this private right now. What should we call this? I don't want. Yeah, I do want to give it a description. I don't think I'm going to do anything else because I'm going to use that little seed project that I was just had up in the other window and bring that over. Sunshine juice. Oh, yeah. It's good. Let's see. I don't know if I want to call it that. Yeah, I'm sure. Got blog system, whatever. API for Bliss. And part of the goal here is my thought is I want to provide a freemium model where I charge $10 a year for syncing drafts or whatever else this turns into. So there'll be a small limited number. You can sync up to, I don't know, I'll have to start with however many I've got here. And then beyond that, you pay $10 a year and you're good to go. I think, and part of that is just because I need to get a SaaS product that is something that just, I pay money or it's one of the things that I want to do with this channel and the live coding is showing you building a product that makes money. And this is not going to make very much money, but maybe I'll pay $10 a year to use it. That math doesn't work out on that, but we'll go with it. Okay, so let's say, is that what I wanted to do with this one? I guess it is. Let's put this in the projects root. We'll call it Bliss API. There we go. So this project is available. I don't have it on the Beyond Code repo yet right now. I have it at Kool-Aid J86. But this is for some client work that I'm doing. I have here node docker seed because we needed a small containerized hello world node app just to get something pushed through a pipeline. And so I wrote this example node app based off of a template that an Express starter template, which I think all of this will go back into, maybe. It just has, that's what I'm starting from. So and you'll see. We'll go through it a little bit. But let's go into Git Config. I'm actually going to swap this out. Oh, bless me. Don't mind my belch. There we go. Git push, let's see, git checkout main. There we go. Git push -u origin main. Huzzah. Cool. So that worked out. So yeah, now we have a little template app and it doesn't do much, but it does what it does. Essentially, well, let me get out of there. Yeah. Let's see if it comes past this. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still booting up. I'm more in my quiet morning mindset than my talk out loud about what I'm doing mindset here. Okay, but I've got this Express server that has a just kind of a hello world dummy API. And this is what we're going to be starting from, because it takes slightly less time to get started with it, I guess. Huh. I've got my error handling in there for unexpected errors. Oh, I know what I was going to do. We're going to put all this under /API. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to... we're going to put this over on my beta server. So I've got a server that I use for any projects that I start. And we're just going to move it over there. It's called beta. And this would go under srv bliss API dot rootprojects.org. Is that where I want to put it? Yeah, that's where I'm going to put it for now. So I'm just going to copy this all over to there. I'm going to SSH over to beta. We're looking to serve. Oh no, it resized. Yeah. Oh, okay. That came out nicely. I gotta remember, where do I have everything here? That's a project I can get rid of. That one's got a bunch of beta stuff here. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm trying to remember how I add a new project to this. Do I have caddy going? I don't know where my caddy file is. That's my problem. No, I don't have caddy. So this one's on Greenlock then? Beta? What is beta? Yeah, it's Greenlock. Okay. Huh, interesting. That's over in root, huh? I must have set that up eons ago. I'm going to go ahead and go over into root, see what we've got over here. Yeah. Greenlock, Express, server. I think there was a config file. Was there a config? Yeah, there's a config here. Aha. So we're going to have to add something for Bliss. And the way I like to do my port numbers is I pick a 4-digit or 4-character word, and I just use the old telephone system. So I just check out what it is on my keypad here on my phone, and then I spell it out. So what would Bliss be? What if we did BLSS 2577? So Bliss API .rootprojects.org, and then that would be 2577 BLSS. There we go. Oh, crap. Oh, dang it. What the stupid did I do that for? Well, now I have to go rotate a key real quick. Hopefully I'm not using that in too many other places. Oops. Oh, ye old days when I didn't separate out my keys better. Y'all are supposed to warn me when I do these things, by the way. Okay, I know how I'll fix that. Oh, it shouldn't break too many things. I think this is the only place where I have my key for that. But I've got it off the screen now. Okay. I need to log into name.com. I've got to be more careful about these things when I'm going live and looking at old projects that I haven't been in a while. I'm usually, pretty good about it when it's a work project or something. Well, especially because those are things where I know, because I've been working at, working them every day. But let's see. Security settings. There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm over on my other screen. API access. Turning. Okay. API access. Where is account settings? Tools, maybe? Tools. Do we have API? Change password, security settings. Account level, IP address. Where the heck is the API stuff? Name.com API. Let's see, change password. 2-step verification. Nope. Sub accounts. Nope. General account settings. By the way, I want to let you know, I don't actually like dark themes most of the time. Sometimes I do, but usually I don't. User profile. Okay, I'm just going to have to Google this here. Name.com change API key. Okay, here we go. API token management page. Let me open this up on the other screen. And let's see what we got here. And indeed, they do show the tokens right on the screen. Oh, okay. And it looks like what I was using this for. beta.rootprojects.org. So we're going to generate a new token. And I'm going to go put that in an env file where it ought to be. Name.com API key equals. Put that in there. Config. All right, now I can bring this back over to process.env.name.com API key. Okay, there we go. And I'll delete the old one. Boop, gone. Cool. And then this needs to do require.env config. And then I believe we need to do path dir name plus .env. Excuse me again. Like this. Yes. Okay. Oh. Alrighty. Let's go ahead. Here's a little tangent. Yeah, I think I know about that one. And let's see. Can I just run npm audit fix? And what repo is this? Oh yes, I don't want to push up to that. And I've just got custom stuff here. star.env.env.star. I don't know if I want to do star.env because normally I call my, I could do this though. I could do not example.env. There we go. Okay, so now let's go back into the config. And this is just totally a sidetrack thing. Greenlock is for, it's the module I wrote for Let's Encrypt, but I have a little server in it that I can do. I can just do really easy proxying, as you can see here. So blissapi.rootprojects.org. That's what. Oh, hey, welcome. I just exposed my name.com API key to the world and had to rotate it. I'm just on this server, I've already got a reverse proxy set up, and so bliss-api.rootprojects.org is what I'm going to use for the name of the Bliss API for syncing the drafts. So now let me get back into name.com and figure out where I'm on my other screen right now. I need to figure out where I have rootprojects.org. I think I have it in a sub account, so I'm going to go look at my sub accounts real quick. Yep, okay, sub accounts, root company, login as the root company, root projects. Okay, cool. So I'll bring this over. I don't think there's anything here that I need to conceal. Yeah, it's all public key stuff. Yeah, nothing I need to conceal over here. Anyway, feel free to say hello. Tell me where you're from, what you're up to, what your interest is in the stream today. Let me know if we have any technical issues as well. It looks like sound is coming through just fine, though, so I don't think that's there. And in case you didn't notice, the beard's new. I'm starting No Shave November early. Since I got sick, I didn't shave for a couple of days, and I hadn't shaved for a couple of days before that. I just didn't shave for the next couple of days, and I don't know. I think I might go with it. Let me know what you think. Remember, my face is in your hands. I make all of my decisions based on what people say on live streams. That's how I live my life. It's the only way. Okay. I think I want to do an A name. Can I do A names here? Where is beta? Yeah. Let's just do this. Go ahead and put in an A name. An A name is like a C name, except it resolves directly. I guess I could just put a C name there. That would be fine. Typically, you only use A names for top level. So if I want to do rootprojects.org was essentially an alias to something else, I would use an A name. So I don't know. I'll use a C name. That's more conventional. So bliss-api end. 300 seconds is 5 minutes. So that's a good time for us to have this. So Bliss API. There we go. So I'm going to bring that out of the way. And let's see. SRV API. Okay. Cool. So I'll go ahead and I guess restart sudo system. Let's see. What node version do we have that root's running? 11? Can we update? Bet we could update to 12. That probably won't break much, right? I'm too scared. I'm not going to do it. I wonder why I was using 11. Probably because there was some bug fix in it that wasn't going to land until 12, and then 12 wasn't out yet. I bet it was. Yeah. I think 11 is when they fixed some of the crypto APIs. And I had to wait for 12 to come out. I think they backported some of them to V10, but I don't remember which V10 it was. But normally, I don't use odd versions. They're non-LTS versions. I try to stick to LTS when I can. I've upgraded to V16, which is technically not LTS yet because it is still new. When V17 starts being worked on, or V18 or whatever for Node, is when they then rename 16 to 16 LTS. But until then, it's just the new one. But they changed the package JSON format, and I think there was something else. So I ended up migrating a couple things to 16. earlier. Anyway, let's see. What are the websites that were in here? We had most of these beta.webinstall.dev. Let's just check and see that that one's up. Beta.webinstall.dev. Interesting. Okay, but that is there. So, oh, I know why the other one was missing anyway. All right, cool. So we're good here. I'm going to go ahead and log out of that. I got to clean up that configuration one day. So now I'm back on my user. I'm on my beta server. I'm going to go into serve beta. No, what do we call this? Bliss API? Yeah, Bliss API. I actually want to rename that. Let me get in there. We're going to call it like that. Now, I should just be able to go in here, and I probably should put this in the README of the project. How to, just generally speaking, and generically speaking, how to create a node service on a server. We should be able to do servicemen. Let's see. I actually need to go look at the options. I need to make a shortcut on servicemen that if you just run servicemen, it'll tell you, hey, here's what you probably want to do. I think it gives you the help currently. Yeah, but the most likely, and that's not bad, but most likely what you're going to want to do is set some environment variables. And let's see. Let me go let's go to Node here. Let me go check my cheat sheet for Node real quick. I think I might have put in here how to use servicemen with Node. Did I not? I did not. I need to go update that. But I can go to servicemen and look at the servicemen cheat sheet. And yeah, this is all good stuff. So add service.sh. So what we're doing is we've got a Hello World Express app, and we're just adding it as a system service. No, I don't even want to do that. Actually, that's not so bad. Maybe I will do that. Yeah, this is actually pretty good for something that is going to be running like this. We just do npm run start. That should work. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Okay, but I do want username should be who am I? We're going to say this is bin bash. I want this. And let's call this, let's give it the name Bliss API. Oh, I don't know if that's a welcome back or a hello to somebody new, but I see there was the number went up or went down and back up. So hello. I'm just adding this Hello World API Node app as a system service on my beta server, and I'm setting it up so that it runs as a system service, but whenever I change the files, it just will automatically restart and run it again. So I'm going to check that I got all the options right on this thing in a second here. I need to update my cheat sheet because it's missing some things that now I think are pretty common. Let's see. Pretty commonly, is that the right? Often, fairly often necessary. I don't actually need capnet bind. Capnet bind is for when you're on Linux and you want to be able to run something on a system port, so a port below 1024. For example, 443 for HTTPS or 80 for HTTP, and so on. But because I'm doing a reverse proxy, the port that this is running on is, what did I decide it was going to be? I think I said it was going to be a BLSS, because sometimes I choose the port numbers for things based on, so 2577 BLSS. So I'm going to need to go into the env here and say port equals 2577. And what was the other thing? I think I just env equals development. How's it going, Jacob? I don't think that have you joined in on the stream before? I don't recall having a conversation with you before. Let's see. What is it? What does it complain about? Oh yeah. Shell check really should have, if it knows that it's an env file, it should follow different rules because env files are sourced. See that you got the little warning here. Port appears unused. Verify or export if used internally. Blah blah blah. I forget what I need to do. Oh, okay. Gonna start your own coding stream. It'll probably be much more interesting than mine. I don't know that I do too much. Well, some of the things are all right, but for me, this is a personal project I'm working on right now. But hold on, I'm thinking on something. Shell check, ignore rule. What do I need to do for that? I'll finish that thought in just a second. Shell check disable equals. Okay, here we go. Shell check disable equals. There we go. Okay, so I just stream, whether it's a personal project or if it's some work stuff where I'm not going through proprietary information, I just stream what I'm doing and talk about it. And I get a couple people that are regulars because I normally stream in the evenings, and we just have some conversation, and that's, it's work I'm going to do anyway. And then I get to chat with people a little bit and ask questions, or they'll ask me questions, I give answers, I'll ask them questions. Sometimes people have actually helped me out with something, so it's been pretty cool. How long have you been coding, and what would your stream focus on? Okay, so I think I got this part done. I think I'm ready to run add service, and then let's take a look at the logs and see if it started up properly or not. No, it didn't, and that makes total sense because I don't think I've actually done the npm install of .env, and I don't think I did the npm install at all, so I should do the npm install. By the way, don't ever do npm install. Always do npm ci unless you're intending to get random versions of packages, because it turns out that npm install doesn't actually check the versions that you said that you wanted to use, which is completely dumb. And then if you're ever doing production, then you need, this should be the default. This is the weirdest thing to me. npm CI -- only equals production. CI, I think, is supposed to mean continuous integration. I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway, that should just be the default option. That should be the default of install. If you're not intending to upgrade packages, when you run npm install should follow what's in your package lock. And if the environment is production, then it should install just production. Okay. Oh, 10 plus years of shell scripting. Nice. Well, so yeah, the error will disappear when you use the variable. I get that. But since it's an env file, I'm never going to use the variable, was the thing. Disable equals sc. But why are you saying disable equals sc? Because will that disable every... Oh, you're just... Okay. Let me ask this again. So 2034, if I just said disable sc, does that disable everything? No, it doesn't. Okay, it's just whatever the number is. Got it. I didn't know if SC was something specific. You're just telling me it's whatever the prefix is. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I've been doing shell scripting for also 10 plus years, but I don't like, not that I don't like shell scripting. I like shell scripting just fine. I find that Bash is typically not the right tool for the job when things get complex. And so I try to not do things that are complex in Bash and move those over into Go. Because Go is kind of my go-to scripting replacement of choice. Because it's so easy. You know, it's like Python, but for adults. Anyway, so now, if I'm not mistaken, I should just be able to go to blissapi.rootprojects.org and I should get my little hello world here. Or maybe a nice not found. It's taken a second because it's doing the let's encrypt bits. It's taken a bit long there. Okay, there it goes. Cool. So yeah, it did the let's encrypt. We did our cannot get, and then I should be able to do /API/hello. And I should get a hello, and I should be able to do /API envs. There we are. Sweet. So that's all well and good. So now we've got our hello world up, and the next bit is, I need to do a little bit of thinking on this. So I'm going to close out all these tabs that I don't need, so we're not so cluttered here. Excuse me. And I'm going to use Bliss to create a little planning document. We're going to need to log in. We're going to need, I'm going to say conflict-free document storage. And maybe I should go ahead and do the login first. Well, that should be fairly simple. And I've got some code I can pull in over from another project for that. But we're going to be doing the GitHub login. Actually, let me think. Where was it that when I was on the stream the other day and finishing up the GitHub login, I was working in some other project when I added the little snippet. Oh no, I added it to the main authentication project, the little snippet that I had. Let me go grab, is it back over here? Yeah. Okay, we'll just switch back and forth between these two windows and that'll be fine. So I think we're at the point where I'm in the authentication project. I should just be able to merge in the GitHub stuff, or rebase rather. I don't ever merge into main at this point. So let me just check and see. What are we at? Oh, this one. Does this one need to be... Let's pull down. Okay. Yeah, so I think we're ready to ditch the beta tag on that. I'm going to use it one more time for now, but I think it's ready to pull in. Actually, let me see what we got in the chat over here. Oh yeah, no, I agree. After so many years in the field, Bash never leaves. Yeah, and I think Bash is a great tool. It's just I'm glad I discovered shell check. It's almost perhaps embarrassing that I only discovered shell check this past year. It saves my bacon. I really only learned Bash well, I think, in the last year or two. I always kind of used it haphazardly. And then I finally learned just tiny nuanced details that if I had known, I wish I'd known years ago. Just little things, the escaping and the quoting, the difference between the double quotes and the single quotes, and the way that escapes work and don't work between the two. It's embarrassing that I didn't know that. I knew that single quotes were literal, but I didn't realize that they were entirely literal. And I knew that escaping worked in the double quotes, but I didn't understand the extent to which the escaping worked. I think it was really webinstall.dev is when I really leveled up my Bash skills, was in building this. So this, depending on what else you do you do just primarily I don't know what to call it, like sysadmin type stuff, or what programming language do you use? Anyway, so webinstall.dev, I think that anybody in web development would find this useful, and it is something that I try to share here a little and there a little as I can, and I do have contributors that have added new things, but nobody should install node.js, for example, any other method than this method, which I won't go into my rave about why that is. And same thing with Python. The web install. If anybody is using Brew, they should stop using Brew. Well, not necessarily stop using Brew. I just hate that Brew's so slow. And I'm not going to go into that unless you ask me questions about it, which in case I will. I'm going to stay on target here for what it is that I'm really trying to do. So let's see. I'm going to npm install. I'm going to do auth 3000 at beta. And auth 3000, again, is the tentative name that I have for this auth library. I have a better name, but I'm not going to share it yet. But I think this is the third or fourth project that this is being used in right now, maybe fifth. It's being used in a couple of different projects, so it is still very much beta. But it's becoming mature as my buddy and I have been using it in a couple different projects for ourselves and for our clients. Okay, so I want to add, I'm actually going to go into another project and take a look at how I had things set up in the other project, maybe. I can get rid of this hello stuff, I suppose. Or, yeah, I'll leave it there for now. So I'm going to nest all of this under authn, and I'm going to do auth 3000 equals require auth 3000. And maybe what I'll do, I think I'll do this. I think I will do this. well, sorry, I'm going to say out loud what I'm working through. I'm going to copy some boilerplate over for the authentication with GitHub. And I'm going to put it in a different file so that eventually what I want this app.js to be is going to be just the routes. I don't want to have all these different functions and stuff in here. And because this is kind of a Hello World project seed, we've got this stuff like /errors 400, errors 500. But I think this is actually good anyway. I think it's good to have a place in your API where you can say, hey, give me an error of this sort, and let me see what this sort of error looks like. But yeah, and I think it's also good to have just debug endpoints for things. Anyway, am I just going to mount that there? I think I might just mount that there and call that good. Let's go, we'll make a directory auth. We're going to go into that directory. And then I'm going to go into this other project. I'm going to open it up on my other screen here and just see if I can copy some stuff over, get some boilerplate out of the way. VLang, what is VLang? That one I'm not familiar with. Oops. I used to really like Python. I've never been much of a developer in Python. I learned it because, well, essentially because it was easy to learn. And I was in college and I was trying to learn how to be a real programmer. And Python was something that seemed interesting, that other people were talking about, and that made sense. Because I started with PHP because I didn't know any better, and that was a nightmare, and it was difficult to learn because it's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. And I got into Python, and I thought, oh, wow, this makes a lot of sense. And then I got into Ruby, and I thought, this makes a lot of sense. And then Node was coming out right at that time. I was actually introduced to it at a Ruby meetup, and once I saw Node, I really didn't go back. Well, until I saw Go come out and Rust has come out. I still keep my eye on things to see what's out there. Crystal looked interesting for a little bit, but I was like, maybe not. Zig, I think, is interesting. I'd love to see that gain traction. But Node and Go are what I stick to mostly because they're usually great tools. And I prefer Go, but I'm writing this in Node because I don't know why I'm writing this in Node. Because I've been writing in Node at work. And if I had this past couple weeks, maybe do I need to? Nah, I'm going to go ahead and keep writing this in Node. Because I'm not at a point yet where I can have this auth library be work independently in the way that I eventually intend this auth library to become essentially auth in a box, kind of like an auth 0 or an Okta type of thing, but self-hosted. Anyway, let me get back to what I was intending to do. Go find the code on my other screen here that I need to copy from another project. Interesting. So VLang is sort of a mix of Golang, C, and Shell. That does sound really weird. I'm going to have to... Do you have any resources that... a conference talk? I particularly love introductory conference talks for this sort of thing. But if you've got some resources on VLang, because I'd never heard of it. Is it new or is it old? I'm going to just Google it real quick. Let's see what pops up here. But if you have some good resources, especially things where the creators go over philosophy and design decisions. Okay. as fast as C. Huh, compiles to human readable C. Oh, that's cool. C interop without any cost, minimal amount of allocations. And what did it say about Go? Okay. V is very similar to Go. If you know Go, you know about 80% of V. Things that V improves on Go. But who is sponsoring this? Really? Well, as it so happens, I'm actually doing some work for MX. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to have to ask them about that. Hot reload code? That sounds cool. Yeah. Huh. Oh, option types. Thank goodness. Yes. Okay, so I'm definitely, going on a tangent here, but this is a good tangent. Now, no global state. What do we mean by that? Do we mean no package state? I'm not really aware of global state in Go. I know that we have package state, and you can require or import, gosh, using the wrong terminology, but you can import a package from another package, and there can be top level state in that package, but I would not consider that global state. I'm not familiar with, maybe I am familiar with globals in Go, but I don't think of them as such. So what does that mean? No null / nil. Great. No variable shadowing. So I actually like variable shadowing when it's explicit like it is in Rust. But, oh yeah, option types. Oof. Enums. Oh, generics though. I hate generics. I think they make things so complicated, and they lead to utility libraries, and utility libraries lead to dozens and hundreds of useless dependencies. Some types. Interesting. String interpolation. Sure. Whatever. If and match expressions. Simple. I'd like to see more in code maybe later on. No, this isn't that long. But I'd love to see more what this is like. Only one declaration style. That's, yeah. There should be one, and preferably only one way, obvious way to do it. Agreed. Smaller runtime, smaller binaries. No garbage collection. But how is this so anyway, I'm gonna talk to people at MX about V, because I'm very interested to find out Volt. Huh. Well, this is interesting. Might have to check that out. So there's some sort of Electron alternative. Oh, and let me check in the comments, because you've probably been saying things. Oh, nothing else so far. Okay. There's some sort of alternative to Electron that's come out in Rust. And I think that because now every single operating system comes with essentially Chrome built in. Well, I guess it doesn't on Mac, but you've got WebKit, which is kind of close. WebViews. Anyway, I think it just wraps. I think it wraps that. But on Windows now, you get Chrome by default because Edge is now built on Chrome. Core utils in V. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to see modern core utils. Well, I really think that somebody should redo the thing that's great about redoing the core utils potentially is if they are cross-platform. What's the cross-compile story on V? And sorry for anybody watching the stream that had joined in for what I was originally doing here, but this is really interesting. So I'm going to let myself get distracted. But if the cross-compile story is good, that's what we need. We could do a BusyBox style thing and have core utils written in Go, and that wouldn't be so bad, even though it's got the overhead. And I wish somebody would rewrite the core utils in Rust. But if somebody's actually going to rewrite core utils and make them so that we can get them on Windows, and I could put them. So I want to put it on Webby, right? Oh, they're using the same logo that I am. See. But I want to have a Webby installer that's core utils, and you're on Windows, and then you just get core utils, and you don't have to use the virtual machine. Anyway, let's see. But how does this work without a garbage collector? How do you have... Anyway, I'm gonna look into this later. I am so glad that you hopped on the stream and brought this to my attention. I'm not super excited about it because there's only one sponsoring company, and the space seems to be crowded with new age languages between Go and Rust and Swift and Zig. But I am a bit excited about it because a company that I'm working with is sponsoring it, which means they're probably using it, which means that there may be potential for some boom here in the local community. Anyway, I'll get out of this and get back to what I was, the reason I started on this journey, or not started on this journey, but what I actually was doing in the stream here. Okay, going back in my other window here, just going into that repository I was talking about a minute ago, looking for the code that I need. Figuring out how to reduce boilerplate on auth is really hard. To try to get things that are flexible but not verbose, it's just difficult things. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring things to copy over here. And I do want to trust proxy. Maybe. I have to take a look at that and see. Okay, I'll bring this over like so. And then I need to go up here. And this is a little weird tidbit, but this $sign here, you won't see this in most Node projects. You'll probably see it in none of them ever, because I think only 10 people are using it. But there's this thing called base tag that lets you have root relative paths. I think this might be coming into NPM, this sort of thing. They might not do it in this syntax. It might be this syntax is what I hope to see. The $sign was used because some reason... I don't think that that's what needs to be used. I'd like to get it all updated to @ symbols, whatever. But instead of having to do dot, 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 you can do relative. Instead of having to do all this mess, you can do root relative. But I only use it in the projects that are growing too large and structured in such a way that you have kind of cross-package dependencies, which if things are architected well, then hopefully you don't have much of that. Okay, I'm still back over here looking at what I need to bring over. Okay. And this is probably all going to go over into the main Dilio in just a bit. Okay. I don't think I have my TypeScript linting stuff in here either. Let me check and see. We got. Yes, you are welcome. Adios. And thank you. All right, login, credentials, exchange, logout. Yeah, all that stuff needs to be done. There we go. Actually, I prefer to have constants on the left, so let's bring that over here. Whoops. Oh. Yeah, sure, we'll go like that then. And this should actually be updated to accounts.google.com. Okay. And what else do I need for my boilerplate here? Okay, here's a little more boilerplate we're going to bring over. Yeah, I know where I'm going to put that, I think. Huh, interesting. Okay, yeah, that goes up at the top level. And then I think there's one more thing I need to bring over. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, and then there's the verify. I need to figure out where do I position the verify. And I don't think I want optional to be true on this one. And this is all going to be server. Okay, so I'm actually going to move all this stuff back into the main one. Actually, I think we're going to bring it all the way up to the top level here. Okay, so we're going to do server is equal to express, and we're going to do a little bit of this and that. Whoops. Okay. So we need to generate a private key, and I'll just put that's how we're going to generate private key. And then, I don't know what I want to call this. Base URL maybe. Let's go with that. Where do I want to do this? Oh, wow. Hello. Welcome. Feel free to tell me where you're from, what you're doing, what your interest is. Ask me any questions. So I'm just getting some boilerplate for the authentication. So this is a library that a buddy of mine and I have been writing tentatively called Auth 3000. And it's kind of like a more modern version of Passport that's based on the OpenID Connect specification, or kind of based around that, and to work with other services that are based around that, as opposed to the more ancient things that were around 15 years ago. Well, I guess maybe not 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Anyway, we're going to have it work with the older things too, but we're developing it to work primarily with the newer things. Anyway, this could go, where's server at? Server is right here. Kind of trying to figure out where. So typically what I like to do is I think I'll start separating this out. Kind of organize so that constants and envs I often will put closer up to the top, and I think that's what I'm going to do here as well. We'll see. Okay, I don't want that one. And let me just save and have the linter update its stuff. So these functions don't exist yet. That's all right. Where did I do that require? Require. Is it just right there? I thought I had another one. That's okay. So we'll do this then. Let auth equal require auth. And we'll put all of this in right there. So here's all the auth setup. can I get away with doing this in the main file? Because we need the well-known, we need the router, and we need the verify. I think I can. I think I'm going to move this back out to my auth file and then have it export. Let's see. Well, yeah, we'll just do it like this for now. Yep, that'll work. Okay. So let's see if there's any complaints now. No complaints now. So there's my app.js, or no, that's my server.js. I have my auth. And then what we're going to export from here will be module. Well, let's do it this way. I prefer to do up top like this when I can't, and then add things onto it. So I think it actually does make sense to have that way. Yeah, down at the bottom. We'll go ahead and put that down at the bottom. And I am checking over, when I'm checking over here, I'm looking for comments. I've got the chat open on both Twitch and YouTube. So, feel free to ask me questions and whatnot. Oh, so the one thing I would have to do if I do it this way, that's why I had it in the other place. Okay, I'm moving this back. Sorry. I'm moving this back out. So let me point out. So I want to set up my generic auth functions in this auth file. So we'll see in a bit, but I'm going to have a function that handles the logins, that handles challenges, exchanging tokens, logout, all of that stuff is just going to be, I'm going to copy over some boilerplate and we'll see what all we have to do. Because I should set up a database for this, but I think I'm just going to do file-based so that I can go through quicker and figure things out and then go back and do a database later. Because essentially I just need to put one piece of data in a file. Well, maybe I should go ahead and set up a database. Anyway, so we're going to have these things that I'll be able to export from this file. But then there's a couple of things. IsDev is not that big of a deal, but the issuer and the private key, I really do just want to have those defined at the top level. I don't want to be throwing those down through the different layers of JavaScript files as I go. So I think I will, in fact, do all of this setup. I'm going to just bunch all this together. I'll just say auth setup. So I want to do all of this auth setup here. And then this is where it's actually used. It's going to be right here, which is fine. There we go. And then we are going to have, we're going to have the GitHub login. So that one's OAuth 2. And I don't remember what all I needed for that. But I think there was, I think it was just client ID and client URL. It may have also needed to have refresh URL. I don't remember, but I'll take a look at that a little bit later. So I think it's client secret, and then client secret will be what I'll put in the env file. And this is all based on, this project has been almost entirely streamed live as well, the Auth 3000 project from start to finish. Except it's still evolving because I'm still building it as I build with it. Let's see. But anyway, there we go. Now let me go check out. I got some code up from another project on this other screen, and I'm just going to copy over some more boilerplate. We'll see. I think maybe I will go with the database because Yeah, I think I'm going to set up Postgres for this project. At first I was thinking I'd do completely file-based, but no, I'll go with Postgres. And I might use objection. I'm going to check out how many dependencies it has. I do like it. Out of all the ones I've used so far, it seems to be the best to me. Okay, but I'm over on my other window, and I'm just going to look through some code for a bit. Login equals. Yeah, I don't know if I want to copy all that over. Authentication's always a beast. But I'll just start small. Really, I don't want to do anything other than I'm going to say let's not do challenge, let's not do credentials, and yeah, all I really want for this right now is going to be Google and GitHub. So I'm not going to worry about setting up the other stuff. That's going to make this simpler. But let's go ahead and take a look. What should I have in here? So I'm going to need a login function. And this is, I'll go ahead and go to the documentation to kind of give a flavor of what this is. There we go. But I'm going to copy and paste over from another project. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see what the security vulnerabilities are. Oh, of course. I don't actually use Axios. Axios is used in basically some build tooling. It's, if we look in my package.json, you will find there is no Axios here, nor do any of these things actually use Axios. Axios is used, I don't know why it ended up in dev dependencies even, but it was, there's something, so I don't need to worry about that. And I think it was just a regular expression vulnerability anyway. Yeah. So where are you coming from? What do you do? What programming languages do you use? What's your interest in Node or this stream? Or the blog system that I'm building. Okay, so login handler. This is, so here are the docs. This is essentially what the login handler needs to look like. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to copy from, whoops. Yeah. Just copying some stuff from another project. I guess what I've got over there is probably good enough. Challenge, default throw, unsupported login strategy. Yeah, this is all about right, I guess. Oh, crap. Oh, no. I say no crap because I remembered GitHub. To be able to get a verified email from GitHub, you have to do a little bit of extra work. But that's going to be okay. And I only need ID claims for this login function. So the login function basically defines how do you know what you're going to get back. Sorry, that didn't make sense. How do you know what will be in the token? So whatever the claims are, they kind of get overlaid and then go into the token. So let's just do user equals nothing real quick. When I'm looking over here, I am checking the comments, by the way. So I don't see anything coming in. Are you a bot? Are you real? Are you human? Are you human? Or are you botnet? All right, so we're going to have a random ID. And let me grab my handy dandy base 62 function. I need to put this in my node cheat sheet actually. But here we go. I'm gonna create my rand. This is one of the things that I actually don't like about Node is I think it encourages too much modularization, too much publishing modules. It's too difficult to work within a project and have just small modules for that project itself. Okay. I'll just go ahead and copy most of this function actually. Yeah, base 64, base 62. Yeah, I'm just gonna, this will be easier. And then, yeah, actually this is a pretty good function. I'm just gonna copy the whole thing. Why not? All right, base 32, base 62. There we go. That's weird. Oh, because it's talking about the block scope problem. Oops, there we go. Yeah, so here's a weird thing that they created a new problem in the newer version of JavaScript. So let doesn't work in case statements pretty well. If you want let to work in case statements, you actually need to surround the whole block of code in the case with a block, which is just really weird. But I don't need to do that in this particular case, and I'm not even going to use that code there. Just base 64, base 62. Yeah. Just copy that over from the other project. And then, yeah, let's do rand equals require. I think I am going to use base tag in this project. I'm going to go ahead and npm install save dev base tag. And the reason for base tag, you'll see in just a second, is so that I can do package relative or root relative package paths. So I can do this now. And I actually need to run npx base tag link. The only problem is that now after every npm install, I have to do that now. So let me go ahead and go to package.json. Now I have to have a post install script, and it needs to run npx base tag link, and I should, well, I guess that doesn't matter because I got base tag down here as a dependency, which is fine. That's appropriate. I like to keep my dependencies light. Sometimes you need them. Wait, am I in the right place? What the? Who? Oh, whoops. That looks like a goofo. Let me go back to GitHub real quick. GitHub. And what are we looking at? Also, I'm going to message somebody. Earlier, there was somebody told me about VLang, which I just learned about. And it turns out one of the companies that I'm doing work for is a sponsor of VLang. So I want to learn about that. Is there a general IT questions? What does this mean? Sorry, I'm just going to message somebody real quick. Let's see. So I'm just saying, hey, today I just learned about VLang and noticed MX is the sole sponsor. Do you know who at MX? Who's a VLanger MX that I could get in touch with? I probably need to ask. There's like some ops person. Ops. I don't even know what. It's not even the right word. Anyway, what I was thinking about earlier. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is kind of funny. I need to fix that. Okay, back on task here. Oh, bless me. Oh. Got rid of that. Let's go into... what do we go into? I was going in here. No, that's not where I want to be. I want to be in, let's see, app.js. Is that where I want to be? No, I want to be in auth, of course. Gosh, having a rough time of it today. So, boop. Closing out some windows on my other screen real quick. And then going back to look at that code that I was copying from for auth stuff. Well, there's not really that much that I need here, I think. Yeah. Gonna check this out. Oh, yeah. This is rec is what the login takes in. And then I guess it's kind of if... I don't like doing switch statements. I'm going to stay away from those. Maybe. We'll see. Because they're sometimes better than doing if-elses, but if-elses actually create blocks in which let will work as expected without doing weird syntax that's difficult to explain. Let's see, OIDC. And then what was I going to do? Throw an error, unsupported login method. Yeah. Person got back to me and said, I'm not sure. I'm going to ask some people. I said, thanks. How's your morning going? Okay. So yeah, I got that copied over. So if it's OAuth 2, it's going to be GitHub. If it's OIDC, it's going to be Google Sign-In. Those are the only two things that I'm going to be supporting right now. And then I guess what I need to do with it is basically just get the email. And maybe, I guess I need an ID. I need a user ID. So I'm going to need to do some stuff. If the user exists, so I'm going to need some user functionality. That's what, okay. So we're going to need that. Let's, But I'm going to need to find or create, and let's say I guess rec.no, what do we do? rec.authn.oidc claims. I think that's what we want to do here. Oh, and this of course will need to be async. And I guess, nah, really I want the user to be defined up here. And this would be, I don't know, how do I want to go about that? Because it's really important to know whether or not the email is verified. It's not even going to be OAuth 2 claims per se. I think it's OAuth 2. Let me go see the docs. See, documentation is really important to write just for yourself. Let me go check. We got any comments over here? All right, so I do need to go dig in the code a little bit. OAuth 2 github.com. And let's see. Okay, email. But I said only if the email is verified, right? So where did we look for email? Ah, here it is. Check that the email is verified. Okay, so we're taking the first verified email is what we're essentially what we're doing here. Which I don't know if I really need that. Yeah, we might want to. I think what I'm going to want eventually is a way to specify which is the email that is, or what's the email address that's desired. I think I'm going to want that to somehow be a possibility of, since GitHub can provide multiple email addresses, provide the option of saying, hey, what email do you want to use here? Okay. Anyway, what did we get out of this one? Verify GitHub token. Authorize. OAuth to profile. Yeah, dang it. Just doesn't quite feel right here. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I think I'm going to look here locally. Oh, I need to update my ES version. What? What are we at here? Node version what? 16? Let's make sure we've got JS hint and prettier and TypeScript installed here on the beta server. Where's OIDC claims? That's what I need to find first of all. OIDC claims. Where's that at? Where's that at in node modules? Okay, I need the same place where this is in Google. Auth in param by OIDC. So I should find the same thing for GitHub. Auth in param. And it is going to be OAuth to profile. So that is going to be what we're looking at. So for that one, we don't know what the OAuth to profile is. Let me go back here. So I'm going to have to figure out what this ought to be. So we're going to have rec.authn.email is going to be email. And then email verified is going to be rec.authn. No, we're just going to, well, I should put this there to be explicit. But I'm going to put true here for now. Email is verified by OAuth 2. Oh, and I have these reversied. Let me unreversey these. There we go. So I'm going to have to create some sort of user module that's going to be connected to a database or some such. And we're going to have to have the ability to do a find or create based on email. But I should have this pass through. Email is guaranteed to be verified. Yeah. I should put email verified here. Shouldn't rely on that guarantee. I should just put that at the top level. More of a marker than anything else. Just as I'm building out this API, I want there to be a conscious thought of, is the email verified or not? Whenever I'm using it or someone else is using it. Email verified should always be true, or it shouldn't get to this point. Otherwise, they'd have to go through the challenge. It's possible that we could say email verified is not true, but then it goes through the challenge process. I don't want to do that right now. Okay, and I got another message. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. And maybe really what would be better to do is just put user down here and then say what would this be? Maybe I just do it like this. But of course, there could also be an ID. Let's see. This one. Do we have PPID? I forget. So with Google, the identifier is going to look like pairwise ID at app ID, dot accounts dot google.com. It ends up looking something like this, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But if it's GitHub, and it's not really a PPID with GitHub. They started doing their ID system before that was popularized, and I don't know if they ever went back and fixed it. But PPID would be something like rec.authn.issuer. Well, we would just do this ourselves. I need to, yeah. It's more like PID, pairwise ID. So this would be rec.authn.oauth2profile.id. Yeah, kind of makes me feel like to do provide get ID function. So it could have a PPID. What we could do, I'm thinking about this both generically and specifically. I'm thinking specifically how I'm going to implement this with GitHub, but I'm also thinking generically what kind of deals do you get with. I think that this should not be named to do. Don't name this OAuth 2 profile because that's too generic. OAuth 2 doesn't have any specification for this sort of thing. So I think what it should be instead is you should know what type of profile you're getting. And the module such as GitHub should provide an ID function. Let's see. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Okay, I'm going to take a break for breakfast in a few minutes and then come back and maybe, because this has been kind of haphazard and not very focused, I think when I come back I'll be a little more focused. Yeah, all right. Anyway, that's going to be there. I got to think on this a little bit. So maybe I think I will make PPID scoped ID. And then, yeah, I really do want to take the time to make that the way that it ought to be. I think I will use objection. We'll see. Before I break for breakfast, let's go check out objection. What are my other options? Was it objection versus sequelize? Versus what? Type ORM. Let's see, bookshelf. Let's see what people are saying. And then there's a really good site. It's something like something similar to, trying to stop saying like entirely, just cut the word out of my vocabulary, hard stop. Always use a different word. I don't remember the name of it. it sounded as though it meant fear of dependencies. Package phobia, something like that. Dependency phobia. Bundle phobia, that might be what it is. Oh, wow, that's huge. Seriously? 2 dependencies? What are the 2 dependencies? Let's see, sequelize. Holy crap. 13 dependencies. What was the other one? Type RM. Ugh. Again. Bookshelf. A little bit nicer. This seems to be the nicest one in terms of just size. I don't like the way that you define models and objection, though. I kind of do. I kind of do. I kind of don't. I don't like that it has this class crap. I would like to know how you do it without doing class crap. And this is the one that's crazy, right? Yeah, that's insane. And those are actually reasonable dependencies. Well, this one is. I don't know about that one. It looks like most of this is just garbage. These should be dev dependencies, not... Yeah, these... Not... What? What is going on here? This should not... SHA? XML? What does it need any of these things for? This is a SQL library. And SHA's already included in Node, so unless they're trying to get it to work in the browser... Yeah, I don't know about that. That's just kind of old. Let's see. I at least like the look of this a little bit more. Just needs to be updated to not have... And last published was a year ago. That's a good sign. It's stable. Was that 100,000? 700,000? And then this has about 100,000. Last published 2 months ago, so not quite as stable, but being maintained actively, I guess. And what's the last thing I wanted to know? Connects objection. Let's see. Node orm. Oh, good. Wow, this sounds like an article I can dig my teeth into. What happened here? So we're going to need to use the database driver for certain. Maybe I just want the query builder, really. Because I think that would be nice. I think that makes sense. I think I'll just use connects. Waterline. I wonder what that is. I think I've heard of that. I think I saw that in the sales JS. I think it was becoming a thing. Let's see. I'm gonna take a minute to read through this, and then I'm gonna go get breakfast. Now that you've seen an example of how to perform some of my queries. Yeah, surface area of an ORM is very large, and learning it inside and out is no easy task. Yeah, once you've learned a particular ORM, it won't transfer well. Okay. Nice. It's funny. Yeah, I agree. I think the query builder might be the sweet spot. So I've used connects before twice. I've used bookshelf once. I'm using objection in a work project. And I've used sequelize a few times with a buddy of mine. And I think that I've seen the problems with having just the raw SQL as what do you call them, here doc strings in the code. So I don't want to go just raw SQL. The other thing is, and I'm going to look at this real quick in the work project to see how we're doing it there. But I'm going to log into my work project real quick. Give me just a second. I'm on the other screen here. And I want to see what we're using for doing the migrations. I think we're just using connects. I think connects has migrations built in. And then where's that phobia, bundle phobia? Where did that go? Is that still here somewhere? There we go. Let's try just connects itself. Which it seems like this must be wrong because, what was it, objection that uses connects is only 100K over top of connects. And then bookshelf that uses connects that's not possible. Whoops. It can't be smaller than connects itself. Oh, crap. But connects has a boatload of dependencies. Why does it have a boatload of dependencies? These are all things that should be dev dependencies. I could maybe... This is a dev dependency. This is not... Why so many dependencies? And this is still being quite actively developed, which is sad. This seems like this should be a dead project by now. It should be complete. Why does it still need to be updated? Because it's being rewritten in TypeScript? Ugh. Whatever. Why does it need all of these things? I'm going to go check and see. I mean, does it actually use that stuff in the code? I don't know. I don't want to mess with it right now. But I think that might be the sweet spot for me. Does it? Oh, what I went to look for was migrations. Migration. No. Well, it helps if I spell it right. Connects migrations. And over in the work project, I'm going to check and see. Oops. DB migrate. Connects migrate latest. I guess we have to have a top level connects file. Yeah. Makes sense enough. And seeds as well. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I think I will continue this after I've had some good breakfast. So, thanks for joining in. For those of you that joined in, remember, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So if you like this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a big pat. Thumbs down. And I will... Oh, I still have some Mountain Dew. Just a sip. And I will be back on after I eat a little bit. All right. Adios.